What's up, dude? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello. My name is Carly, and I make videos about true crime, interesting people, interesting events, kind of. Genuinely, literally, whatever interests me is just kind of what I make videos on. I do like to primarily do true crime stuff, but every now and then I need to take a little bit of a break from that because it does get to be a bit much. But that being said, we are doing a true crime case, so let's get into it. On November 12th, 2021, a man in a trash bag covered pickup rolled up to the Red Rock Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Like, the pickup was covered in black garbage bags, I'm assuming to try to disguise the pickup's identity, so that way if people would call the police, they couldn't really get an accurate description of the vehicle, which, I mean, okay, not the worst idea I've ever heard, you know what I mean? It was a little bit before 4 a.m. when the man, wearing dark clothes, black latex gloves, and a face mask covering his face, walked up to the cashier's cage demanding money. The poor cashier was terrified that he would actually start shooting, so she of course handed him over the money that totaled almost $74,000 in cash. The man had a bag hidden in his jacket, so he stuffed all the bills into the bag and then just ran off. So it was mainly 20s and $100 bills. No one was able to see his face, and when the cops looked at the security camera footage, his face was, of course, covered because he had the mask. So, really at first they thought that the security cam footage just wouldn't help them at all. But they did notice that he had a very unusual gait, walk and kind of run, and just sort of how he carried himself. He kicked out his left foot as he walked, and that was a major clue for them. On January 6th, 2022, the same man robbed the Aliante Casino and Hotel in North Las Vegas. He pulled up around 4:30 a.m. in a white Volkswagen this time. He parked in a handicapped space near the entrance of the building, which that in itself, jail time immediately. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people park in handicapped spaces and they aren't handicapped or they don't have the passes to do so. Anyways, wearing the same outfit and accessories, the gloves and the mask, he went up to the cashier with his hand in his pocket to signal that he did have a gun on him, and he ended up leaving with $11,500. After reviewing the footage, the authorities noticed that the man had the same distinguishable gait throughout the casino and parking lot as he ran through. That's how they knew that it was in fact the same man. And he was wearing the same clothes, kind of had the same MO, showed up around 4 a.m., went straight to the cashiers, that sort of thing. And then, 6 weeks later, he struck once again. This time, he hit up the sports book at the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino. It was shortly before 7 a.m. when casino employees were Casino employees were transferring money from a bag into cash drawers when the man walked up to them with his hands in his pockets. He yelled, "Get away from the money, I've got a gun, I will shoot you." This was according to a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Nevada. He then proceeded to jump over the counter while shoving employees to the floor and then grabbed almost $79,000 and ran off after an employee hit the alarm. So he jumped the counter, grabbed the female employee by her shoulders, and shoved her down to the ground. So they had, every reason to be afraid of him. The fact that he did that just showed that he was willing to get aggressive, to the employees, which is horrible, terrifying. I couldn't imagine that. During the robbery, he repeatedly yelled to the employees, "This isn't your money, it's not worth losing your life over," court documents show. Which, fair enough. I worked at Old Navy for almost a year and a half. If someone would have walked in and been like, "Yo, give me all the money," I'd be like, "We need a manager, I can't open the drawer," but don't worry, I literally don't care about the store, take whatever you want. I don't care. Security officers for the hotel actually chased him into a parking garage where the man pulled out a silver revolver and he threatened that he would shoot them as an officer tackled him. Listen, our security cops around here where I live would never. This sort of thing must be more common in Vegas, people trying to rob casinos and whatnot, because our security guards would be like, I can't run. Anyways, police later learned that Rogers had covered the gun's serial number with a yellow sticker, court documents show. So his last name is Rogers, but I'll reveal his name later. The officers that chased him noticed that he had a hard time running because he had a problem with his left leg. After the security officers disarmed the man, they held him until the Las Vegas police arrived and took him into custody. The man ended up being Caleb M. Rogers, 35 years old, who worked for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and the .357 caliber firearm that he had actually belonged to the department and had been checked out by Caleb at the time of the 3 robberies. So it really makes you wonder, like, did his department kind of maybe have an idea that it was him? Were they kind of like, it's suspicious. I don't know, but just, like, I feel like someone had to have felt like something's up with this guy, like, or, something's not quite right. He identified himself with his officer number, according to court documents. His apartment was searched, and that is when his motive was, like, very clearly discovered. He had eviction notices and past due notices, along with occupational injury forms from a knee injury that he got in 2019, hence his unusual, walking and whatnot. The prosecution argued that Caleb robbed the casinos in order to pay off his debts that he acquired as a result of his gambling addiction. In July, Caleb was found guilty of 3 counts of robbery and 1 count of brandishing a firearm during a crime. Caleb faced up to 20 years in prison for each robbery count and life imprisonment for the firearm conviction. However, his attorney asked the judge for leniency, considering Caleb's career.
Robberies of casinos, Aliante and Red Rock, which have similar MOs, similar walking, appears to be the same person that Metro's currently investigating, is a danger to this community with that type of training and knowledge. We're asking that bail be set at $250,000. If he makes it, be placed in high-level monitoring, be ordered to have no weapons in his possession during the pendency of this case, and be ordered out of the resort corridor.
So what I'm asking for is electronic monitoring, and I'm asking for no weapons, and I'm also asking for no trips to the casino. So specifically, I asked for a stay-away order from the strip corridor. If that needs to extend to other casinos in other jurisdictions, I have no problem with that. As far as bail is concerned, if the court is needing further assurances regarding bail, there's not a financial affidavit, but I did speak with him regarding his finances. I'd ask that any bail not exceed $20,000. A $250,000 bail is, quite honestly, I think, ridiculous. I think that is going to be so high that this individual is not going to be able to make any bail. That's going to just be prolonged detention, de facto detention. So I'm asking if the court's going to set a bail that it be reasonable, and I think a reasonable amount would be not to exceed $20,000.
I think for this particular case, I can't overlook, and I won't overlook, the incredible danger posed to these 2, specifically female sportsbook workers, where one of them at least, he pushed her to the ground. Throughout this event, he was brandishing a firearm, threatening multiple people on multiple occasions that he will shoot them, that he has a gun. One of the security officers indicated during his pursuit, this particular individual had his finger on the trigger, began saying, "Are you willing to be shot over this? I'm going to shoot you." I think that obviously there's probably something going on here with Mr. Rogers to compel him to act in this way, having a stable job. I think hopefully that can get looked at and he can get some resources as it relates to that. But I do think he's a danger based on the actions in this case, bringing the firearm in, brandishing it multiple times, pulling it out of his waistband a second time to confront the security guard who's trying to stop him from making out with his over $78,000. Indicated that a bail setting of $250,000 would be ridiculous. I tend to disagree based on the dangerousness posed by Mr. Rogers. I think the burden's been established by the state, and very fortunate nobody was hurt worse than what occurred in this case. So based on the fact that the state's met their burden, I'm going to set bail in the amount of $250,000. It's going to be with a high-level monitor if he makes that, with the order out of the short corridor. Sir, you're not to own or possess any weapons for the time being. Your next court date will be.
While many of his peers chose career paths and lifestyles that served only themselves, Rogers opted for service in one of the most dangerous professions dedicated to protecting our society. His attorney, Richard Pocker, wrote in a sentencing memo. Rogers' mother, Crystal G. Rogers, also pled for leniency. This is not the end of his story, and he has the ability to change the trajectory of what will define him, she told the judge before the sentencing. These are dark hours for us all, but it is just that. I pray this is his season of change. Miss Girl, that's the point of having him go to jail, to get him to actually change his life and to turn around where his life is headed. Caleb's attorney, Richard, said that he plans to appeal the convictions after he was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison, which really, I don't feel like is that bad. He could have had it way worse. Caleb also has to pay $85,000 in restitution. Prosecutors said that in a later interview, Mr. Rogers was asked whether there was anything that could have been done to prevent his robberies, and he responded, nothing. So, yeah, I think someone needs just a little bit of time in jail. But whatever, that's just my opinion. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this. I mean, this doesn't bode well for police officers at all, unfortunately. I mean, they already kind of get a bad rap, but this, it's like, okay, now you're robbing places? Like, let's just maybe stop gambling. Maybe let's move out of Las Vegas to get away from the gambling problem and then, like, pull our life together a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, I would love to know what you guys think about this. Do you feel like 12 years was enough? Do you feel like it wasn't enough? Should he have gotten a lot more? Should he have gotten less? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's it for me today. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, please don't give it a thumbs down. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week and stay safe out there. Bye, guys.